Hey all, welcome back. This is a little share. It's actually an extraction from the longer format of the live Q&A recently. And I thought this question and answer might be generally helpful for some people. I'll try to have it kind of defined in the title so that you're only clicking on it if it's something that will be useful to you in your claim or your post-claim activity with the SSA with regard to other Social Security disability, SSI, dependent benefits, or retirement benefits, or anything else that could touch on the Social Security world that we all swim in right now. So I hope it helps, and I will talk to you later. If you ever want to be there live, that would be Wednesday, 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have the usually about 2 hours Q&A session, so anybody can ask their Social Security questions if they so desire. Okay, I will see you then. Bye, guys. Good morning and happy Sunday. Welcome to the Sunday Social Security Roundup for the week of June 9th to June 14th. So here's what we had this week in case you missed. Let's look at it. On Monday the 9th, we talked about, I'm just going to try to make this up higher. Yeah, it was some concerns after an actual ALJ hearing that a claimant had and wanted to know if it's something that she should be concerned about. And I think you'll like the answer because it's very common. The little faux pas she may have made, not a huge deal. So you might want to know about it. So you don't worry about it. Okay, Tuesday, the 10th. This was a little tidbit, what somebody should know about, a lot of people express this. I see it all the time. I see it online. I see it, and people say it to me all the time. My own clients, particularly when they're coming on board, talk about it. This overall feeling perception that the SSA denies everyone no matter what. I suppose they're thinking, they all know that some people went on initial, but I guess they're thinking those are the people that are compassionate listings or the rare listings, things of that nature, or terminal illness. And they feel like everyone else is denied no matter what. And we go into whether or not that's true or not, and, some of the misconceptions. Okay, so then we have the 10th. This was kind of a cautionary tale about the risk you take when you take early retirement while filing for Social Security disability. As you all know, it's entirely possible. And when you need to do it, you need to do it. You just want to know what the risks are and what the outcome could be, particularly if you lose your SSD case. So I would say if you do it, take the SSD case very seriously. On the 11th, I actually had two things out. I couldn't help myself. One was an off topic. So as you know, I label it off topic. So if you want to walk on by, you certainly can, because it wasn't specifically Social Security, although it happened with regard to a Social Security involved person who just kind of had reached out for help, not a client. Anyway, and the issue was, for me, why it can be best to make lemonade out of lemons and then give it to someone else, the lemonade. And it really had to do with just a really bad day I had and the strange way, kind of strange way, although we should all know better, of how it kind of became not such a bad day. The next day was same day. And yeah, then I put out a for real Social Security, all things Social Security video. It is a description of 6 must-dos that in my practice, my clients are advised to do and kind of on a regular basis. So, and I think going forward, all 6 things should be provided as a reminder. Are you doing this on a regular basis? Because it's easy to forget when we're mixed up in a case that takes so long sometimes, and we're not feeling well, and we're stressed about other things, and we have home lives to deal with and everything else. Sometimes it's easy to forget some of these must-do items. So while these are tailored to how things are done in my practice, it certainly can be conflated in a way to everybody doing it in their own way to make sure their cases are always top notch with the adjudicator and the DDS when they're on initial and recon and when they're at the OHO waiting for an ALJ hearing. And then on the 12th, which was Thursday, this was a replay share of the Wednesday live Q&A session. And this time we had a joint one, and my colleague Shanna Justice joined me, and we took on a bunch of questions. And I was really thankful for her being there because it's always good to see her and it's always more fun. And I know she had a lot going on, so it was she really went out of her way to be there despite all that was going on with her, her business move and a lot of, important things going on with her and her practice. So I was appreciative, and y'all got to see her. You saw her before if you watched those, but it's been a while. And then Friday we had our standard weekly Friday fraud law review. And in this case, it was an Honduran illegal alien that was guilty of firearm possession. And we go into a little bit of that and how this SSA was involved there. And then on Saturday, June 14th, this was a must-do kind of tip that concerns your obligation to prioritize getting stronger medical evidence and not just assuming that you don't have to. Okay, and that's it for the week, guys. I hope you had a good week. I hope you had a fabulous weekend, and I hope to see you next week, 9 o'clock, videos, and Wednesday at 1 p.m., the live Q&A session. Probably just myself this time, but who knows? I'll talk to you later. I know. It's still Sunday. Did you miss last week's Social Security roundup? Not this week that you just heard, but the one prior to that, and want to catch up? I'm attaching it now. Have a great day. Bye. Happy Sunday. The Sunday Social Security roundup is about to start. Okay, I hope you all had a great weekend and enjoy the rest of your Sunday, of course. So this is from Monday, June 2nd until June, the 2nd to the 7th, Saturday. So what did we do? Monday was discussion about heart transplant and two different things, really. Heart transplant and listing with that, as well as not forgetting to use your other additional impairments when you file, even though you've had a big major, like say a heart transplant. There are reasons for it. Also on that day, this was for benefactor members only. It was just a goofy little clip that this software automatically pumps out that does things with the videos, like the live Q&A session videos. And it basically was a very short clip, but I thought it was funny to share. I just didn't want to bore everyone else with it, but it makes you into a cartoon, and then it's your voice speaking, and it was reiterating some of the Q&A. It was kind of funny. So then Tuesday, this was about how you have to be careful when you're getting a raise at your part-time work that you're doing while you're disabled within the confines of the Social Security parameters that you're allowed to do that. You have to be aware of them, particularly if you're flirting close with the SGA line. And also, if you're interested in not breaching the TWP line, some people are, that would be another consideration also. June 4th, this was a discussion about the Medicare starting point after your SSDI award, and do you have a choice whether to take the Medicare? And that was stemming off of a question someone asked in the live session, June 5th. This is for people who are applying, not those who have already applied particularly, although it might help you to look back and see if you made this error. But, got to try to avoid allowing confusing work stoppage dates. Some people confuse the day they actually stopped working with the day which is usually much later, their employer took them off the ranks of the medical leave, or they hadn't been there in a while anyway, but maybe they were in discussions. But you really want to look closely, and that also implicates if you're doing part-time work and where you should put that, if anywhere. I think I have a system that the way we do it now, either way, it's going to get to the same point. There's often additional reports you have to do before they're going to fully process your application, particularly if you don't do it right, or if you do it a certain way that you don't need to do it. So it's just a bit of a time saver for us to figure out when we can avoid that. Friday the 6th was fraud law review, of course. And this was a recent case with a Pennsylvania woman, my own state here in Pennsylvania, who was indicted for fraudulent receipt of defrauding basically the SSI program and stealing those welfare benefits. And I get a little wise RC in those things, but bear with me. Saturday was the replay after it's been trimmed mostly of, the big gaps of silence as I'm scrolling through to get the next question and those kind of things. The replay is put up in that fashion and was put up on Saturday. And that's it, folks. I hope you have a great week coming up, and I will hopefully see you at 9 o'clock on weekdays and Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our live Q&A. Get your questions in early. and we'll have fun. All right. Have a great one, guys.